These are the URL to download the files. So these are the plugins that we will be using for the system. So first of all, let's download this on Bootstrap version 3. Let's download this Bootstrap. So we are using the version 3 for the system. This is the Bootstrap. Sorry, this is the Datatables. I think we only need this. So first of all, let's open this. Copy. Let's create SMS. This should be inside the XAMPP or map. I'm using map, so it should be on XD docs. Okay, so it's copied. So it's downloaded. We don't need this user guide. So okay, now let's run SMS. Okay, it's working fine. So let's download it. So let's move the Bootstrap to this file. Okay. Okay. Name as assets, and there we can type as Bootstrap. So copy here. After that, I think we'll download the Datatables, right? So for Datatables, we are only going to download this too. What is become method? Yeah, I think it could be great if we could only download from this one. So let's create this file. Copy and paste all this. Create another file named as okay. Yeah, I think there are data tables. It's done. So now we need to download the file input. So this are done. So file input is here. So we need to download here. Find and then download. Okay, unzip this, and we can move this to assets. Let's delete this one. File input. So the next one we are going to download is the full calendar. download, it's over here. You can see the URL, right? So it's easy. We can download by the CDN, by composer, I think, package, I'm sorry, but a CDN is over here, but I think we'll download the full version. Okay. Okay, let's move this to this SMS v2. I'm developing this on I'm developing this as a version 2 with new interface and with new functionalities, so it will be released it will be like released soon. So another thing we need is image, which will be used for uploading the image. Another one is a jQuery. I think we'll download this from the CDN direct. I think we don't need compressed. Yeah, docs, SMS, assets. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's over here. So I think I'll remove this. It's 3.1. Yeah, okay. So after that, it's download. We will be using the jQuery calendar by Keith, which is also an awesome plugin. This calendar has supports many different languages, so it's very useful to use. For now, I'm going to download them. Please go through this plugin. It's really beautiful. Okay. I'm sorry. What is it? I think it didn't copy. Card deck. What was it in jQuery? Oh, it's over here. Okay. We'll name this as Kate calendar. Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay. Yeah, it supports. It's a big file to use. So you can see there's many languages supporting calendar. You can see like you can see here, but I'm not going to use them all. I'm just going to use so I think all the files are downloaded, so it should run smoothly. So I think we should now create the database, which name is SMS. Okay. So like we have like 13 tables for this system. So the first table is users, which has a 6 field. The first column name is user ID, which should be auto increment and the primary, and another is username and password, first name, last name, and email. It should be varchar, password should be varchar, and this varchar we will be storing 255. Yeah, so the user table is created successfully. So now we need to create another table name as teachers, which has 13 columns, right? So the first column is teacher ID, which should be primary. It's used as a primary because each row should be unique, and the auto increment is used to increment each new value with new ID. So all the values are uniquely defined. Another is register date, another is first name, last name, image, date of birth, another is age, contact, email, address, city, country, and job type. It can be like a full-time, part-time. So this should be dead. We'll be use first name. I'm sorry, like this. For image, we'll be using text, and for date of birth, we'll be using the date. For age, again, varchar, contact, varchar, city, varchar, country, varchar, and for this, for every varchar, we will be using 255 length value. So yeah, so I think the teacher table is also created successfully. So the next table we are going to create is what it should be class. Okay, it has only like 3 field: class ID, class name, and I think numeric name. So it should be varchar, and the length should be 25, and it should be primary, and it should be auto increment. Yeah, so three tables are created successfully. So next we will create a section. So it should have like 4 columns. The first column is section ID, another column is section name, another column is class ID, the class ID from this class, and another is from teacher ID. Each section will have a class ID and a teacher. So the should be varchar, again auto increment, primary. Let's save them. Okay, 4 tables, I think 1 2 3 4 columns are created successfully. So the next column will be table should be subsets, where it should be like 5 columns. Subset ID, name, total mark, class ID, and teacher ID. The name is varchar, total marks again varchar. We will be using 255, and again auto increment. The section name, and I'm sorry, the subject ID, subject name, like English, and the total marks are like 100, and which class it's been used, and for each subject, which teacher is teaching that subject. Later it will be clarified when we will be developing the system. So let's save them. So 5 tables are created. We have more like 8 to go on. So the next one is student, which have 14 tables. Like again, we student ID, register date, class ID, section ID. These are like foreign key. These are like primary keys of class table, and in here it has been used a foreign key, which links the relationship between students and classes. So for example, like one classes has many students. This one will be clear in next section. Okay, for now, first name, last name, and the student image, picture, his age, date of birth, and contact, like phone number and email, his address, city, and country. So for country we will use varchar, city again varchar, address varchar, email varchar, contact varchar. We use 435, and it should be auto increment. And for DOB we will use date, and for the age again varchar, and image it should be text. First name varchar, first name again varchar, section I should be ID, the relation date should be again date. So let's create them. Okay, the student table is created successfully. We have all the fields that we need to develop. Okay, so let's create the attendance table. So it should have like 8 columns, fields. The first one is attendance ID, and the second one is attendance type, student ID, teacher ID, class ID, section ID, attendance date, and mark. All fields should be integers because there will be a number. So, and auto increment. This all field will be in numbers. So all this field types will be integer instead of attendance and date. So let's create this field. So I think successfully created. So then so we have more 5 to go. Okay, another table we'll create is marks sheet, which has only 4 columns. The first is marks sheet ID, the second one is marks sheet name, and it's marks sheet date, and it's class ID. It will only store the marks sheet information. yeah, this table. So the date should be on the date type, and the class ID is again auto increment, boom, and then save. The mark set is created successfully, and to store there are marks for that. Each mark set will create another table named as student, markset student, which should contain 7 columns. The first table name is markset student ID, and another one is student ID, and another is subject ID, obtained markset ID, another is class ID, section ID. So it should be auto increment. This will be integer. Obtained marks should be varchar. Again we'll use 255. So markset ID will be fetch from this table, class ID from this, section ID from this. Yeah, so subject, we created the subject, or all that will be created. Okay, so yeah, the mark set is great. Now it's for pay. I think it's now for accounting section. We'll create a payment name, which should have like 6 columns. The first column is like ID, and its name, payment name, and its start, date, ended, date, total amount, and type, payment type. I think this should be varchar, and this should be auto increment, and it should be start date, should be in date type, and date should be in date type. Total amount should be in varchar 225 length, and this will be an integer. So let's save this. Oh sorry, this should be 255 length value. So okay, 3 to go. So another table name is payment name. It should have like 9 fields. I'm sorry, payment name has been created, or payment. For that, each payment name, the payment ID, paid amount, status, payment type, payment date, class ID. So again, the section ID, student ID, and payment name ID. Yeah, this ID is coming from this. These are the paying information for that each payment name. Okay, this should be auto increment, and the paid amount should be in varchar 255. Yeah, and all field type will be an integer, status, payment type, all this one. So the next one we'll create is expenses. Yeah, expenses. First, the expenses name, which should have 4 fields. The first field is ID, it's expensive ID, which will uniquely define the each row value in this column, and total amount, it should be auto increment, and the date should be in date format, name varchar, and total amount also into varchar. The length value 255. Okay, so let's save this, and the last table is expenses, which should have 4. Should be expenses ID, and expenses name, its amount, and its name ID too. This ID is a foreign key in here. It's primary key is from uh, this section, the expenses name. As you can see, this it's a relation between expenses and expenses name. So it should be, this should be like auto increment, and the expenses name should be varchar, amount again it should be in varchar, you know, the length 255. So I guess all the 13 tables are created successfully. Okay, so now we are going to create the files that we are going to use for the system. So let's move on to application. First of all, let's create the page file. Okay, it should be on name as pages. Okay, and should be on view. We'll check if the see if the file exists or not. If it does not exist, we'll redirect them to 4x4 page. If it exists, we'll take them to the page. Just load view page. The view page should be by default we should log into the login page. I think we don't, if we go back to the we are sure this the page will create the error because we need to configure the route page because it's relating to the welcome. So let's create this to page controller. So the default controller should be like pages view, and it should be we don't have I think we don't have a page login. Yeah, we don't have a page login, so we'll go to view and create the login page. Sorry. Yeah, we are here. Okay, yeah, so okay, there are a few things we need to configure. The first one is like config page. The base URL should be this. We remove the index.php and okay, we remove this PHP, and for the database we'll be using I have a username as a root username and a password as username, and the others we created was SMS, so it should work perfectly. Yeah, so yeah, so that's all we need to configure. After that we're going to create a few files, controller files, and model files and view files. So we will need an accounting.php, spelling right now, and another one is attendance, and another one is classes, and another one is marksheet, and then it should be section. I don't know what happened. Section, and another one should be student.php, and another is student.php. Did we create the student? Yeah, we have created the student.php. The next one is subject.php, and another one is teacher.php, and another one is users.php. So let's delete them, close them. And another one is the model. This model class works with database. So let's create model.accounting.php. Okay, another one is model.attendance, another is model.classes.php, another one is model.marksheet.php, and it's model.section.php, and it's model.student.php, model.subject.php. So yeah, all the files are created. So for now, we'll create each view page. You'll understand one by one after we go through them by creating all the modules. So for now, let's create each page, like accounting.php. Login is created. Yeah, that's all we need. I think we delete this file. We don't need this one. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this tutorial. In the next session, we will create the login part, profile, setting, logout, and we'll check if the users are logged in or not. Yeah, that in that session we'll cover up that. So